Everyone in the town is talking about how she is the mayor of Dalton and also the supervisor of Thorn Township. The FBI is investigating her business because they think she has been misusing local funds, which upsets Tiffany, who says it is all a lie and that someone is trying to frame her. Let's take a closer look at Tiffany's life. She has a side business that is making waves, and I can assure you that it will leave you speechless. She has a lot on her plate as the supervisor of Thorn Township in addition to being the mayor of Dalton. Yes, she has two very important careers, but the worst part is that her dual job is creating more drama than the conclusion of your favorite season of your favorite reality show. What role do these two roles play in Dalton's Merrily? Tiffany is all about keeping things looking nice and concentrating on the standard services that maintain a town's proper operation, such as repairing pavement and ensuring that garbage is collected up. The main issue is that people are disparaging Tiffany because she makes more than $200,000 a year from these two jobs combined, which is more than some D residents made in 5 years. Yet, Tiffany isn't having any of it. When someone asks for help with their electricity bill, she provides resources like a superhero. Despite her wealth, Tiffany is unable to pay for a funeral, but she has it. She's right there with her little checkbook, and she's using the town's funds to run her own personal charity. Let's take a quick look back before Tiffany was elected mayor in 2021. Some people are referring to her as a super mayor, but not in a positive sense. They claim that she has too many responsibilities, too much power, and not enough time to complete them all. Dalton was all about Chang, the tiny town, and good. There is more to the story, even though Tiffany is out here doing double duty. Is it wrong for Tiffany to use other people's money for her charitable endeavors? Don't charities need funding to operate? What is Tiffany's response to all of this? She is adamant that both of her jobs are important and necessary. But with all of this criticism directed at her, you have to ask whether she is truly helping the people or if she is feeding herself at this moment. This information is fresh and unquestionably different from what we heard last week because Tiffany's drama was merely local gossip at the time. Now that the FBI is in town, they're digging up dirt to try to bury her career. But why is the FBI so interested in this small-town mayor? It turns out that the FBI isn't just the locals who are giving Tiffany the side eye. They've been sniffing around and talking to people left and right, trying to figure out if Tiffany has been dipping her hand in the cookie jar, if you understand what I mean. But here's the tea. The feds are all over Tiffany's business affairs, asking her how she has been spending the town's money. And they're not just having a friendly conversation. They're listening to every rumor and whisper about your girl Tiffany. It's all a big misunderstanding, but what do you guys think? She's saying that someone is trying to set her up and that she's innocent, but the FBI doesn't just show up for nothing. And the fans aren't just asking questions. They've gone all out on Tiffany, using sophisticated electronic surveillance to monitor her spending. The FBI is investigating Tiffany's charity, political fund, and even her own business in an attempt to determine whether there is more to Tiffany's financial dealings than meets the eye. It sounds like something from a spy movie, but this is real life, and Tiffany is the main character. The Keith Freeman because she has been threatened by others. Tiffany's right-hand man claims that she has a lot of protection. Tiffany's attempts to project
security detail.
So we have about 45 officers in our village. My security is warranted due to the fact of threats and things of that nature, but what people are not stating is it's in our CBA. That's our collective bargaining agreement. That's our union contract. So it comes with the seat. That's what people are not saying. I didn't make this up. I didn't just create this and say, I want security.
How many officers is it?
How many officers is what?
On security detail.
I'm not gonna say how many due to the threats on my life. So,
but if it's in your CBA,
it is in my CBA. I'm not doing anything wrong. I even went to court due to the fact of people suing me saying I cannot have a security detail, and I won. The judge said I can't have a security detail because it's already in a CBA.
Though Tiffany says that her credit card transactions are absurd, the FBI has been interviewing business owners and former employees, some of whom allege that Tiffany has been acting dishonestly by focusing on those who do not vote for her or support her financially. Is there more to the story, or is this really what you need to be protected from? create a slightly distinct picture. When her society faces serious issues, the mayor of a small town seems to be defending first-class flights and opulent hotels while Dalton is struggling with a $2 million deficit. Throughout her stay here, Tiffany has been taking advantage of first-class travel and living the life of luxury. High-end lodging and pricey food, although she appears to be on an eternal vacation, the taxpayers are actually footing the bill. You may think she has a few privileges, but she is the mayor, not the president, and has many more. We're discussing charges to township credit cards for thousands of dollars in meals, lodging, and other expenses. Continuous for a while and getting worse, it appears that Tiffany has been charged with using these credit cards for both personal and business expenses. She appears to have unfettered access to the town's funds and isn't afraid to use them. Let's also talk about the numerous billboards that are all about Tiffany. And guess who covered the cost? Because the law forbids using public funds for this type of self-promotion, Tiffany tells them she doesn't care that they might be advertising Dalton or other local events for the taxpayers.
What they say, like for instance, City of New Orleans has a policy that city officials don't fly first class.
Okay.
Do you have that?
We do not.
Do you believe you should have a policy? Because again, the critics are that you're flying first class, that you're staying in four-season hotels, high-dollar hotels, having what they call extravagant dinners, and those are your critics. Are you as a city official, in order to make sure that you'll be on reproach, looking at establishing a city policy in terms of how money is spent when traveling?
This is the way I feel about it. People will talk about anybody because they're not doing the work. They only talk about the people that's at the top, the ones that are doing the work.
Tiffany failed to see that she should put the needs of others before her own. Dilson is living like a celebrity with first-class flights, luxurious hotels, elegant dinners, and billboards with her face all over the place while people and she are fighting to make ends meet. This is a vast cry from the everyday lives of the people she is meant to represent. And it's not just the money she spends that is making people talk, but also the things she doesn't do. Tiffany seems to be more concerned with her own comfort and appearance than with Dalton's major problems, which need to be addressed. Is Tiffany innocent? The benefit of the doubt. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. And when you're right, you're right. We just need some more evidence to show if Tiffany is actually in the right, because some folks are saying that Tiffany's lost touch with reality. They're wondering how she can justify all this spending when the town's finances are in such a bad shape. It's like she's living in a different world where money is growing on trees and there's just no such thing as a budget. But Tiffany is still not backing down and claiming her innocence. She's sticking to her gun, saying that everything she's done is above board. But the FBI sniffing around in all these allegations flying, you've got to wonder, will it prove that she's as innocent as she claims? Because people are starting to connect the dots between Tiffany's spending and Dalton's money troubles. And they're asking tough questions about where the town's money is really going. Is it being used to fix the roads and fund schools, or is it financing billboards? And this jet-setting lifestyle, we got to be in the town to run the town. And it's not just about the money she's spending on herself. People are asking if Tiffany is truly attempting to help people, or if she is just trying to improve her own image after seeing that the breast cancer organization that was fraudulently established is also using public funds. As I mentioned earlier, have you ever heard of a maid that needs bodyguards all the time? Tiffany Henyard is taking revenge and has some explanations for the mayhem. Tiffany says that she does, and you won't believe how strongly she is defending herself against all of these accusations. She claims that she is the victim in every. Let's hear her out and talk about that security detail that has everyone talking about this drama and her innocence in claiming that the entire affair is a setup. Tiffany says it's not just for show and that her life is in jeopardy. But what danger is she in? Or is this simply another way for her to live the high life while using public funds? Even though I've heard of the government framing people, it's serious. In response, Tiffany states that all of her actions are lawful, but she does not provide the supporting evidence. Tiffany and the invoices that back up her assertions, while she is the hero attempting to save others who are speaking the truth, Tiffany accuses the trustees of being the true villains impeding her progress. Tiffany is claiming that the FBI investigation, lawsuits, and charges are all part of a larger scheme to remove her from office, and they have nothing to do with her actions. Is this just a way for the justice skills to avoid responsibility, or is she the target of a larger scheme? In addition to all those costly hotels and excursions, Tiffany also has an explanation. When people began to question them, she quickly defended herself by saying that her current position as mayor requires her to travel in first class and stay in five-star hotels. She also said that she is juggling multiple lawsuits from former employees. But guess what? She says these are just more attacks from her enemies. These, in Tiffany's opinion, are pawns in a larger plot to discredit her decent staff. Given that her ex-boyfriend Keith Freeman is at the center of all of this drama and has a lot to say about the accusations of bankruptcy fraud that loom over him, let's talk about whether Freeman is providing the full truth or just a part of it, since he chose to work with the FBI to protect his own reputation. Formerly Tiffany's go-to person for everything, Keith Freeman is now acting like a canary to the FBI, and his remarks might potentially destroy this case. Despite Freeman's major bankruptcy fraud charges, he chose to assist the authorities, and guess what? All of Tiffany's spending patterns are being uncovered by him. You can be sure that Freeman has something to share if he is speaking with the FBI, because he has been with Tiffany since she became M and was present for all of the lavish dinners and travels that were documented. Freeman is part of Tiffany's defense team. Tiffany is purportedly trying to use Freeman as a scapegoat and put him under the bus in order to rescue herself. But will it really work if Freeman tells the FBI everything he knows? Tiffany might be in serious trouble if Freeman knows all the financial secrets. If there is little evidence, Tiffany might no longer be able to play the innocent guard, which provides you a 50% chance. There are two things that are certain about Keith Freeman's role in this drama. First, that his cooperation with the FBI may be essential to discovering the truth about what's truly happening in Dalton. And second, that Tiffany may be coming to terms with the possibility that her ex-right-hand man may end up being her biggest problem. It's not about all the money after all, Freeman added. Let's now talk about the elephant in the room, or more precisely, the millions of dollars that have gone missing. Tiffany claims to have been spending a lot of money on Dalton, but where is the money coming from, given that the town's wallet seems to be lighter than ever? The money we are talking about is a significant amount of money, $15 million to be exact. But is Tiffany really making this much money? If so, what is causing Dalton's continuous problems? Tiffany Henyard has been boasting that she will get Dalton some genuine help. We should examine it. The town is losing money, and even in the town, we are talking about a hole so big that a truck could drive through it, and there is still a lot of money. Tiffany says she is the breadwinner and money generator of the community, telling everyone who will listen that she has a knack for raising money. However, her claims don't add up. Tiffany says she is making $15 million, but the town's bank account shows that something very different is about to happen. Tiffany adds that the trustees again caused the mess. According to Tiffany, she is bringing in money, but the trustees aren't paying the bills. So what's really happening is that Dalton is struggling to make ends meet while Tiffany is living it up. However, it's not just about the spending. Some people are starting to seriously question where all of the money Tiffany claims to be making is going, and whether it is actually helping the community or if it is just a way to line someone else's wallet. Some are accusing Tiffany of abusing her position to benefit herself more than the town, and they are looking at all of the personal expenses that have been charged to township credit cards, asking whether Tiffany has her priorities straight. While it may seem commendable to raise $15 million for your community, what good is it if the funds aren't helping the people for whom they were intended? The FBI is investigating all of these financial questions, and there is undoubtedly a problem with Dalton's situation. Tiffany is living a lavish lifestyle and boasting to everyone about how successful she is, but Dalton is still having financial difficulties due to unpaid bills and a growing deficit. Someone needs to tell us where the $15 million is going, please. Dolphins probably don't know this on the way. Is it getting lost? Will it ever reach the town? And if so, why isn't it having an impact? While these federal agents go through multiple receipts, Tiffany is also taking on a different role, analyzing the game she's serving. She makes references to popular culture and tricks the audience by telling jokes that sound like they might be on Saturday Night Live. The numbers don't lie, and they currently paint a different picture than the one Tiffany is trying to sell despite her claims of innocence and the setup. They're going to get her, I'm sure, but is Tiffany speaking to her parents, or is this just a smokescreen? It turns out that Tiffany has some strategies up her sleeve to appeal to people rather than just letting the whispers spread. The issue is that Tiffany is going above and beyond. Some are calling her attempts to make politics humorous by dressing up for board meetings on a professional level, and Tiffany is just laughing about it. She is interacting with the youth in a way that has them all talking, saying that it goes beyond just creating hashtags and taking selfies. Isn't this girl in trouble with the FBI? Some people enjoy Tiffany's antics, while others don't, claiming that the glitzy stuff is merely a distraction from the actual problems, such as the financial difficulties we've been discussing throughout the film. Tiffany responds to this as well, calling all of the criticism a smear campaign, and some people are falling for it. Many people in Dalton still stand behind Tiffany, supporting her on social media and at meetings. I suppose those billboards gave her a chilly following because she has her own little fan club, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows for everyone who supports Tiffany. There is another one who is calling for her to step down. The town is divided on both sides though, and Tiffany is doing everything she can to address all of this drama. She's out here talking about transparency and accountability, saying she wants to rebuild trust while also refusing to back down from her ostentatious lifestyle and calling out people's bluffs. But let's face it, all of this drama is making Tiffany more famous than ever. Every time she posts something on social media, it blows up, and people are talking about her all over town. It's as if she's finally become a local celebrity, and not everyone is upset about it. The actual turmoil is just getting started. Even though Tiffany has been putting on quite the show, many lawsuits are still pending, and the FBI is keeping a careful eye on the situation. There will be a lot of strain on your girl. What will become of the most talked about mayor of Dalton? Tiffany's issues extend beyond a math book. She also needs to deal with the FBI and her former employees' money. Let's start by discussing the FBI, but first we're talking about punishing Tiffany, who is being sued by 3 former employees who say she dismissed them for not helping her with her corrupt actions. Company owners who didn't support her and trying to hide public records, which are significant issues. You know, they are no longer only snooping around. Instead, they are putting on to detective gear and speaking with all of these entrepreneurs and former workers despite Tiffany's insistence that everything was a hoax. They are investigating every dollar she spent. What's next if these lawsuits are successful and the FBI discovers something suspicious? Tiffany might be in serious trouble. We're talking about losing her job, facing fines, or even worse. But don't count Tiffany out just yet. She's proven she knows how to work the crowd. Remember all those social media stunts and costume parties at board meetings? She might just have a few more tricks up her sleeve. But one thing's for sure, though, the drama's far from over. With the FBI still digging and more people coming forward with stories, we might be in for some big revelations. Who knows what kind of tea is going to get spilled next? And some folks are ride or die, saying that Tiffany's days are numbered, and they're betting she won't make it to the next election. But others, they're still ride or die for Tiffany D, saying she's brought more attention to Dalton than anybody else ever has. Wealth. This story is far from over, and we have no idea what kind of bombshells will surface next. Although Tiffany may believe she is out of the way of these small board meetings, it appears from where we are sitting that the storm is just beginning. Is Tiffany actually the victim of a setup as she claims, or is there more to the story than meets the eye? Tiffany is out here while the FBI continues their investigation, and who knows what they'll find next. She appears to be living lavishly off of public funds, but is that really the point of being a mirror? Fans, however, have been all over it and don't seem to be buying Tiffany's innocent pleas, since they believe that politicians will continue to embezzle millions of dollars until they are imprisoned in federal jail. People from all ethnic, gender, and sexual orientation backgrounds prosecute and convict thieves. How does this complete peacemaker avoid going to jail? She ought to be accused of stealing and dismissed from her position.